Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, August 16th, 2013, with a huge discussion about eBay feedback. And guys, I want to thank you for your comments on last week's video, because like I always say, your comments direct what I'm going to say the following week. Before we get started with this huge eBay feedback discussion, just a couple of quick news recaps from this week. Guys, have you seen how the reports on the stalker have gone viral? It is unbelievable. I told you this would happen, and with all your help, it happened. This will not be about the stalker, this video. I don't have time for that, but there will be an update real soon about that. I do want to point out a couple of things though. In the description box below, you're going to see a link to auctionbites.com. There was a really good article done there the other day by Ina Steiner. I would like to read you just a quick excerpt of it and put it out for discussion. And I quote, "An article in the Daily Mail has caught the attention of eBay sellers for the flagrant way in which one buyer was able to cause havoc on the site. He's accused of harassing sellers and bidding on items and not paying for them, among other activities." Then we skip a few paragraphs that talk about the specific stalker, and you know who it is, and it ends up, "It appears that data about the harassing buyer, whoever he is, was well within eBay's grasp. With all of its resources, why isn't eBay able to keep bad buyers off the site?" I asked eBay's spokesperson yesterday if he was aware of the article and if he had anything to say about it. I'll update this post if he comments. And apparently there were no updates. So as a subtopic, guys, I'd like you to address that. Alright? In my opinion, eBay can still save face. There's one thing they can do, and you know what that is. Let's see what happens. Alright, now let's get into the meat of the video. Let's talk about last week. Last week I made a video entitled about the 15,000 underperforming sellers that were booted from eBay, and with a subtopic about feedback. And I was really surprised with the fact that hardly anybody commented about the 15,000 sellers that were dropped. Almost every one of you guys commented on the feedback issues. So that's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to discuss what you guys said. You may remember I put out 3 possible solutions that I thought were good. One of the solutions was very well liked. The second one was and the third one was very well disliked. The one that everybody seemed to like, and I want to bring this up now because it's very timely, is that it is universally believed that if an eBay buyer is unhappy with his item, he should have to contact the seller and allow the seller to make good before negging him. And I support that 100%, and so do you guys. Let me just give you a case in point, if I may. If I remember, I'm going to put a link to this below underneath the Auction Bites link. Guys, I offer 2-week return policy, no questions asked. As many of you do too. So if a guy gets an item and he's not happy, there's no reason why he shouldn't just return it and get his money back. Remember last week how I talked about how I'm a little leery about people who buy cheap items, and I even went as far as to say that I think people who buy more expensive items should get feedback that carry more weight than people who buy $2 or cheap items. Now, a lot of you guys disagreed with me on the latter. However, you agreed with me on the fact that it seems to be the case that most people who leave negative feedback do it on cheap items. And we all agree on that. Now guys, my eBay Motors account, as you know, is Hubcap Joe's, and we'll talk about that shortly. And my feedback is very good. I'm a top-rated seller, been on eBay for approximately 14 years. I accept 2-week returns, no questions asked. In the last maybe year and a half or so, I've had exactly one neg, and it was for a cheap item. As you know, eBay is always touting its seller protection, and they're always saying that if they come across a bad buyer who violates eBay rules, they will remove the negative feedback left by that buyer. I will now show you proof that is not true. I wished I was wrong on this, guys, but I'm not. I'm going to show you one of my cases and one of your cases that was brought to me. Okay, my case. If my memory is still going to be good, I'm going to put the link, as I said, underneath the auctionbites.com. A while back I listed an item and it was purchased by an eBay buyer with the handle MikeJ3006. If you click the link below that hopefully I left, it will show you the feedback he has left for his sellers. He has left only 3 feedbacks. And what are they? A negative, and a positive. If you look further at his account, it's a seldom used account that was used only once this year. Once in over 12 months, this account was used, and it was used to neg me. Guys, doesn't that seem a little suspicious? Going a little further, the item he purchased was a little bolt. It's the cheapest thing I sell, $14.95. But still, I offer returns, no questions asked. Now in his feedback it says, he leaves me a negative and it says, item is not what the seller said it would be. I don't know what the heck he's thinking. It's a little lock bolt, that's all. And if he doesn't like it or wants to return it, no problem, I will give him his money back. But he never contacted me. Now think about it, guys. You all sell on eBay. What kind of an eBay buyer, when he's not happy, will not ask for his money back? Honestly. The only person that would do such a thing is a person that doesn't want his money back. He wants to neg you. He's got a personal hatred for you. And I feel that is what happened here. As a test case, I never called eBay to get it removed. I wanted to see if the seller protection would kick in. And it didn't. Case number 2, from the journals of one of you guys. An eBay buyer with the name JAVIELPAJARITO, Javier Barrito. Check him out. Check the feedback he leaves for people. The first page has some red on it, but if you start going to pages 2 and 3, it's the red badge of courage. How can one buyer neg so many people? That person is obviously abusing the eBay feedback system, and he's been doing it for a long time, and it's never been picked up. We've all said for a long time, eBay needs to protect the honest seller. Now, they have made a lot of progress in the last few years, I'll admit that, but the purpose of this channel is to bring to their attention the fallacies and the deficits, and that's what we are doing, or that's what we here are trying to do. I am not a hater on eBay. I'm a lover of eBay. I love to sell, I do good, I make money, and I try and help you guys. But there are things that are wrong with eBay that need to be brought to their attention. Scammers is number 1. So, I would like you guys, if you've looked at those 2 particular eBay buyers, especially the one that nailed me, guys, in your own opinion, would you tell me why this was done? I give money back. I'm happy to give it back. eBay should protect every seller that offers a return policy. For instance, if you buy from me and you're not happy, fine, return it, but you can't neg me. And if you choose not to return it, well, that's too bad. You still can't neg me. I'm willing to give the guy the $14.95 back. It's 2 months. I'm still willing to give it to him back. Who cares? I want that neg out. It's wrong. Look at that account. It's a seldom used account, used specifically this year to bid on my item and neg me, and for no other purpose. If any of you feel I'm wrong or right, state your cases below in your comments. Now, we got a lot to talk about, so I really got to move on here. I'm doing this all straight through, so any flubs I make will not be edited out. Okay. Everybody agrees. These are all culled from last week's comments on my video. Everybody agrees that sellers should be allowed a certain time frame to work out issues, and they should be contacted first by an unhappy buyer. That's a given. Alright? Now, I had mentioned that I thought maybe the $2 cards or the $2 items should not be allowed to leave feedback. However, most of you disagreed, and you said you think all transactions should be able to leave feedback. However, I'd say about 33% of you also went ahead and agreed and said that higher value items should leave more media feedback, and that should carry more weight. But it was not the majority. However, the majority of you did agree that the people who buy the cheaper items, the under $20 items, are the ones that usually leave the most negative feedback. That's a given. I still am very concerned about people who bid on cheap items and leave negative feedback. As in my case that I just pointed out to you, it could be a competitor or someone that's trying to hurt your account. And right hand to God, I say it solemnly on camera, I feel that was left maliciously to hurt me. And I'm very upset about that. Alright? People who do take advantage of the return policy, in my opinion, should not be able to leave feedback, either positive or negative, because no transaction was made. If you go into Walmart, you buy an item for 50 bucks, you get it home, it's the wrong size, you return it to Walmart, they give you the money back, you can't file a complaint against the store. They did nothing wrong. The same with eBay. We did nothing wrong. We gave the guy his money back if he bought the wrong size or whatever, right? Quite a few people made complaints about people who never leave feedback, buyers who never leave feedback. That is a problem. But guys, I don't see any way you can force a buyer to leave feedback. You know? What I do is occasionally I'll send out gentle reminders saying something like, "Thank you for bidding on my item. I hope you enjoyed it. I left you positive feedback. Would you please do the same for me when you get a chance?" I do that sometimes, but I can't see how we could ever require them to leave feedback. Again, another popular idea was ID verification. That should be a given. Everybody's ID should be checked and double-checked to be sure you're a legitimate person and not a fake scammer using a stealth account. A problem I've touched on in the past are sellers who will list an item with no shipping price. A few of you guys have mentioned this. I don't know how it gets through the eBay checks and balances when you list an item. Whether you're charging or not charging for shipping, a shipping price has to be named. I can't tell you how many auctions I've seen recently with no shipping fee. And it says shipping fee not available. There's a glitch in the system that needs to be fixed. As far as feedback, 3 items were put up by you good people. And I'm going to name them in case any of you guys didn't read the comments. A couple of people said they would like to be able to leave longer feedback, detailing the transaction and really getting to the meat of the story. Again, this is from you guys, not from me. A second idea that was put forward was generic feedback. We would leave a comment like item was great, item is described, or item was terrible. Item was horrible, seller was nasty, but that the comments would not be positive or negative. And thirdly, someone suggested color-coded feedback. For instance, if you bought the Rolls Royce, your feedback would be in gold. If you bought a cheaper $50 item, your feedback would be green, etc., etc. I'm just putting these ideas out there to share, alright? That's all. A couple of people mentioned private feedback. In my opinion, I agree with these folks. There should be no such thing as private feedback. I mean, come on, what are you hiding? Private feedback? On eBay? In the year 2013? Get rid of it. There should be no such thing as private feedback. 1 second, please. Earlier we talked about seller protection, or lack thereof. I offer, as you know, 2-week return policy. But I'm getting quite a few people asking for a refund when it's 3, 4, even 5 weeks. I just had one, in fact, the other day. My complaint is not that, because if I say to the person, no, you waited longer than 2 weeks, and they open a case, you know eBay is going to side with the buyer no matter what. So I mean, in my opinion, you got to grin and bear it. My complaint is what I opened the video with earlier, the guy that bid on my little $14.95 item and never even asked for a refund. You know, if it walks like a duck and smells like a duck and quacks like a duck, chances are it's a duck. Guys, I would like to hear what you've got to say about all this. I don't want to keep this going too much longer because I have to try and upload this and get my butt to work. So, I would like you guys to address the following items. Number 1, what do you think about the person who bid on my item specifically to hurt me? Keep in mind, like I said, I did not call eBay to get this removed. I wanted to let it take its course, and I wanted to see if this eBay seller protection would kick in, and it certainly hasn't. And then you have the other case of that other bidder who negs everybody and his uncle. This is obvious abuse of the feedback system, and something should be done about it. eBay, you guys are watching, I know you are. Please protect us. Alright? We're honest sellers. That's all I'm asking. That's all the rest of these guys down here are asking. Give us a break, man. We can make money together. I'd also like you guys to talk more about feedback, because you guys seem really into the feedback issue after last week. And basically, I think that's basically all I want to talk about. Also, comment on that ecommercebites.com article I left below. And I'm going to have a lot more for you next week. Those of you got, oh, one more thing. I've been getting a lot of PMs, and there's a problem. I've had 3 people PM me really long letters this week. And I answered you guys, but the answers wouldn't go through because you have contact lock enabled. Why? Who would have contact lock enabled? So, if you're wondering why you never heard back from me, you better disable that contact block thingy, because I can't get back to you. Those of you who PM me today or tonight will get a response today or tonight. I'll also do some video comment responses tonight, and I will not be commenting over the weekend. I'm unavailable on the weekends, but I shall do some more comments on Monday. Guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver. Thanks for watching, and thanks for making this a successful channel. Let's talk a lot about eBay. Goodbye.